In spite of the widespread acceptance of divorce in the United States over the past 40 years, a recent poll of never married singles ages 20 to 30 indicates that 87% plan to marry only once. Many of these people have seen their parents divorce, and that is not what they want for themselves. In Gary Chapman's book, The 4 Seasons of Marriage, he explains in the biblical account of creation, God's expressed desire is that two will become one flesh. Husbands and wives are meant to complement each other so that they can work as an unstoppable force, meeting the challenges of the day together. A man and a woman are uniquely created to work together as a team. Each has strengths and weaknesses. Each is called upon to complement the other. If they learn how to do this, they will accomplish more than they would ever have accomplished as individuals. The goal of marriage is that husbands and wives voluntarily serve each other, helping each other reach their potential for God and promoting good in the world. Research indicates that the average duration of the initial euphoria of a relationship is 2 years. Chapman states in his book, when we come down off the emotional high, we must make the transition to the next stage of love, which is much more intentional and requires a conscious effort to meet the emotional needs of the other person. Many couples fail to make this transition. They start to realize differences in personality, interests, and lifestyle, whereas before they hardly noticed. The euphoria that led us to each other first and to focus on each other's well-being has now dissipated, and we begin to focus on ourselves and to realize that our spouse is no longer meeting our needs. We begin to request and then demand things from our mate, and when he or she refuses to meet our demands, we withdraw or lash out in anger. Our anger or withdrawal pushes our mate further away and makes it more difficult for him or her to express love to us. Life is full of anticipated changes. We have the power to respond to these changes in a productive way. First, it is important to know what stage your marriage is in to know how to bounce back as a couple, if necessary. He says spring is where most marriages begin, the excitement of creating a new life together, giving men and women the courage to make a marriage commitment. Spring emotions are excitement, joy, and hope. Attitudes are anticipation, optimism, gratitude, love, and trust. Actions are nurturing, planning, communicating, seeking help when needed. The climate of the relationship is vital. Tender, open, caring. Spring is a time of new beginnings. The flowers are blossoming. The streams of communication are flowing. There is a sense of excitement about life together. Couples are making plans. They have great hopes for the future. They are planting seeds from which they hope to reap a harvest of happiness. Chapman explains that sometimes there will be poison ivy. In other words, irritations due to adapting to so many changes and differences. These irritations do not change the season, but they may make spring less enjoyable. You can turn these irritations into assets as you maximize your differences. Summer is fun, and both are reaping the benefits of our hard efforts to understand each other and to work together as a team to see the dreams of spring fulfilled. The anticipation of spring has turned into the reality of summer. The initial excitement may have waned, but our sense of connection with each other has deepened. We have fewer misunderstandings, and when we do, resolutions come more quickly. Share a deep sense of commitment and satisfaction, and we will feel secure in each other's love. Couples decide to be upfront, to be open and honest with each other, to never go to bed mad or harbor anger or resentment. We agreed to forgive, forget, and move forward in the love we have. They communicate to know each other and learn to work together as a team. They agree to be lovers rather than fighters, to give each other the freedom to be different. They attend marriage seminars and read books on marriage. They stimulate spiritual growth. Summer. This season of marriage represents happiness, satisfaction, accomplishment, and connection. Its attitudes are trust, commitment to growth, and relaxation. Actions encompass communicating constructively, accepting differences, attending seminars, reading books, growing spiritually. The climate of the relationship is comfortable, attached, supportive, understanding. The dreams of spring have come true. Couples enjoy a great deal of satisfaction from their accomplishments. They are resolving conflicts in a positive manner. Having accepted their differences, they are seeking to turn them into assets for their relationship. Husbands and wives have a growing sense of togetherness. The season of marriage, that is fall. In early fall, the marriage looks fine externally. Outsiders may even comment on how happy the couple seems to be. But inside the marriage, things are changing. And when the chilling winds arrive, the deterioration of the marriage will be obvious to all. Fall becomes the prelude to winter, uncertainty of where things are going. Emotions are fear, sadness, dejection, apprehension, discouragement, resentment, feelings of being unappreciated. Attitudes are concern, uncertainty, blaming. Actions are neglect, failure to face issues. Climate of relationship is drifting apart, disengaging. There is a sense of detachment. One or both spouses begin to feel neglected. Couples realize there are some issues they are not facing squarely. It seems like they are disengaging emotionally, and each tends to blame the other. Winter marriages are characterized by coldness, harshness, and bitterness. Chapman says the dreams of spring are covered with layers of ice, and the weather forecast calls for more freezing rain. If the husband and wife have a conversation, it is merely about logistics. Who will do what and when? If they try to talk about their relationship, it typically ends in an argument that goes unresolved. Essentially, they live independent lives, though they live in the same house. What brings a couple to the winter stage of marriage? Chapman states rigidity is the reason, the unwillingness to consider the other person's perspective and to work towards a meaningful compromise. When one or both marriage partners insist on my way or not at all, they are moving their marriage toward winter. If one person insists on my way or the highway, the other who is bending more to the other's wishes and demands will begin to feel resentment. If both parties are unrelenting in their stances, then they will hit a blockade in their relationship. And when people both have Trojan walls up, the flow of connection and chemistry ceases altogether. Emotions present in a winter marriage are hurt, anger, disappointment, loneliness, feeling rejected. Attitudes are negativity, discouragement, frustration, hopelessness. Actions are destructive, speaking harshly, not speaking, violent. Climate of relationships are unwilling to negotiate differences. Conversations turn to arguments, or spouses withdraw in silence. There is no sense of togetherness. As Chapman describes, the marriage is like two people living in separate igloos. Chapman recommends couples discover the joy of helping their partner succeed. True greatness is expressed through serving, not by seeking one's own agenda. So offer encouraging words, take supportive action, provide emotional support. Look for assets in your differences, for each difference has a positive side. For if balanced, they create wholeness. By being flexible in your emotions, perspectives, and lifestyles, you can maximize your differences. Rigidity and uncompromising behavior or inflexible viewpoints can destroy relationships because they block the flow of connection. It is important to allow your partner the freedom to pursue their own perspectives without forcing your own life or political perspective onto them. You don't want to merge with someone too similar because they wouldn't be able to complement you as well, and your relationship as a moving engine wouldn't be as strong and complete.